So for this next example, this is not a coding example, more so in a explanation. So I will be explaining, giving a lightweight explanation of hashing, demystifying the word hashing. So this is for more novice listeners rather than the more advanced who should already know most of this. So basically, hashing is a way that is a algorithm, a security algorithm that's used to represent digital information without, number one, displaying the original information, or it can be used to validate that there have not been any changes to the digital information. So with that, I'm going to create a Java example utilizing hashing. This is not a coding uh, explanation. I mean, this is using hashing in Java. We're going to be using SHA-256 hashing algorithm, but this is more of an explanation of hashing rather than a coding example. So if you need to know, if you want to go more in depth after this video, you want to go more in depth, you can Google the various hashing algorithms and Google more in depth information about hashing. So I'm going to begin coding out my hash example class. So we want a main class so we can do some testing. So I'm just going to create two methods. One for implementing hashing. The other is just to convert the output from my hash algorithm input, which will be byte data. I want to convert that information to string data. So let me first create the import this Java security. So yeah, hashing is part of Java security package. So that is created. It's just this method will just create a hash from input. Now we're going to convert the bytes that it create into string value, character data, string character data. Import big integer. So we're going to test. So we have our conversion code that converts the output from our hashing algorithm, and now we test. All right, so let's test. Create a string. This is my input. And this is my output. Output this. Input my string 1. Output. So we got output. Conversion method. Alright, let's test to see if, wait, what's going on here? Surrounded with a try test. So, try catch. This just catches any errors. So let's test to see if my output works. My hash example. Okay, so as you see, we get a input. Let me enlarge this. So we got input, and then we got output. We got 256 character hash on the output. So this should always return the same value. The input should always return the same output value. And all right, so why is this important? This is important because these hashing algorithms are used primarily for passwords. So every site that you're logging into where you're entering your password, they're not saving your actual password. They're converting the password that you created into this hash string. And this hash string is being saved instead of your password. So all they're doing when you log in is they're comparing whatever password value you enter, and they're comparing the output, the hash output, with this hash. So that's why when you know, if you're having problems logging in, they'll tell you to, recreate a password, because they have no access to your password. All they know is, that they just have the hash, which doesn't tell them anything. Hash can be anything. And this is also used to validate other types of digital information. So say, for instance, you're entering data in a website. So in order to prevent, say a hacker has the ability to modify information while it's in transit from the browser to the server. So many times you have the browser software will create a hash of the input that will be passed to the output. So if any changes occurred occurred in transit, and that hash, the information that's input, once it gets to the server, they hash it again to see if it matches up with the hash that's passed. They can validate to see if that data is correct. Also, like I said, any digital information, any digital information can be hashed. So you can ensure that the validity of photos, the validity of videos, etc., of any type of information, to ensure that no changes have occurred. So say for instance I'm going to create a copy of this output. Oops. Copy. Let me just make a slight change to, I'm going to just add something to my string. Piggyback a value to my string. Just added an A to testing my hash for the second one. So as you see, I just appended an A to the first string, and now my output hash returns a whole different value. So this is a powerful tool. It's used throughout the internet for security, for comparing to see if any changes occurred to data. It's used for passwords, etc. This is just a light overview of hashing. If you want, more detail, there's plenty of information on the internet. With that, I say peace.